All right. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for today's Legislative Affairs Virtual Town Hall with Director for UC Benefits and Policy, Susan Dickinson, and the Director of Legislative Affairs, Josh Housie. Before we get started with opening remarks, I'd like to provide you with a few key points about today's virtual town hall format. Purposes of these calls are to provide educational and training information to assist you in providing responses to your office's constituents regarding the UC program. If you have any questions about UC, we ask that you use the chat window in Teams. Please include your name and the name of your legislator's office along with your questions. In the interest of time, you'll be limited to one question, but time permitting, we will open up the call for a second round. Unfortunately, due to confidentiality issues as well as time constraints, we ask that you do not submit questions pertaining to individual UC claims. For your use, we will provide participating legislative staffers with a link to a recording following today's call. We will also include follow-up through any remaining issues that we did not have an opportunity to address this morning. There's a point to make for everyone that is attending this call this morning. There was no recording last week. We had a difficulty with Teams, and the call was for standing room only. So if you missed it, you missed it, unfortunately. For your awareness, the call is being recorded today. So if you do not consent to being recorded, please hang up now. With that, we'll get started with comments from Susan and Josh.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to share that we are continuing to mail out the third-party fraud claim notifications and determinations. But this had come up in the town hall a couple times, but the last time was, I don't know, maybe more than a month ago, where some of you may have asked, hey, this person got a determination, it was a fraud denial, and is this new fraud, and my person's concerned, and blah, blah, blah. So we talked about how we had sent back in February notices to all these people saying, we are going to be issuing determinations that deny this claim for fraud. We know it's not you. We're required by the federal government to do this. Just trying to give them a heads up so that when they get it in the mail, they didn't think it was something new, or, we're trying to get them to understand. We had done that, and we actually completed that for all past years. But I wanted to let you know that the 2024 wave of them, the more recent ones, we're going to be starting those. I'm not sure if they've started yet or not, but we are planning on starting those soon. So you may still have people saying, oh my gosh, I got this in the mail. What's this all about? Just remember, you can always go to, you don't even have to log in. If you go to our site, like our actual claims site, benefits.uc.pa.gov, there's a red banner there that right at the top, you don't even have to log in. It says, following the department's mass mailing of the UC 548 third-party fraud claim notification. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it explains it right there, the red banner on the top of the page. So if anyone does come in, you can look in and see what that says and explain that to them. So those aren't done yet. Those determinations will still be coming out to people. So I think there's probably fewer in 2024 for 2024 claims than there were in the past. The large wave of fraud was really when we first went live with the system in 2021. So, a lot of these, you probably won't see the volume that you saw before, but they are more recent. So you might have people who are more concerned and engaged than if someone got something that was 3 years old or whatever. They might not have cared as much. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that these are still continuing. Even though we sent those letters back in February, we're still going, and that you might see these come into your office or come across your desk. So that was the only thing that I have. Josh, do you have anything?
Not much. I'll give the LegWhip update. So right now there's 50 pending in the queue, the oldest one being from yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the only other thing I'll mention, and I can mention at the end of the call too, as a reminder, maybe the next town hall, definitely one of the upcoming town halls, similar to like we've done before, we're going to do a workforce presentation. So Susan won't be here to answer questions about unemployment, but the focus would rather be on some information that workforce development would like to share with you all. So whenever we send out the invite for that specific town hall, we'll make sure we include the information that's going to be shared, whether it's like a PowerPoint or something like that. And we'll also make sure that it's clear in the invitation that this will not be focused on unemployment, but rather workforce development. I asked them if they could do it October 1st, which would be the next town hall. They haven't gotten back to me yet. I'm expecting that it'll be that one, but it may not be that one, maybe the one after that. That's all I have. You there, Kate?
I am. And all right, Nancy from Rep. Schlegel's office. I have a constituent that has been trying to get PUA reissuance since 2021. Keeps being told that the cash department is about 3 to 4 months backlogged. How can I help get them resolved?
The excuse me, the best you could do in that case is to just keep following up with. I'm assuming you sent it via LegWeb. We do have so many cases when it comes to redepositing the money. And this is because banks started just sending us money back. And I won't go into all the detail, but if you think about it, we have all these multiple programs that we pay. Like when you pay a week of PUA, that also paid the FPUC money on top of it. Maybe it paid some LWA money on top of it. So there's all these programs that paid into an account, whether it be a debit card or someone's checking account, whatever. So it all goes into account and gets lumped together. And then when the banks thought it was a fraudulent account or whatever, they would send, or maybe we told them it was a fraudulent account, they would send the money back. But now we have to figure out which, like, we can't just redeposit money in our system. It doesn't work that way. You have to do it by programs. So now we have to like make up which programs it goes to. If we got a full amount back, well, then it's easy because you know what you paid out and if the money coming back, it matches. But that's usually not the case. Some money has been withdrawn. So now we have to figure out how it goes back there. So anyway, which is an impossible task because I mean, as long as money's been withdrawn, how can you say, oh, well, they withdrew PUA money, but not FPUC? I mean, it doesn't, they just withdrew money from their bank account. So we have to apply it back to the claims. And that's something that our IT people, and it's in large, I mean, unmanageable by humans amounts. In the past, when we have redeposits, they were few and far between. Our clerks handled them, and they would figure it out on a case by case basis. But in this case, I mean, they were sending us thousands and thousands and thousands back all at once from multiple banks, and especially our debit card company. And so that's why there's just so many of them that we're doing an automated process to redeposit them. But we don't just do it. I mean, we also have some manual intervention, checking them to make sure things look pretty much okay. And that's why it doesn't just get done, like that. But we have known, our staff here in central office. Now we're not the ones who check LegWeb. It's the service center staff who handles that and works on claims for you. If they get it and they elevate it to us, oftentimes we can find where that person is on a specific list that the bank sent back and get that one redeposited and done. So it's possible in that case, if you've already sent it through LegWeb, they may have already sent it to us. But if not, we might be able to try to find it. So make sure you do send it. And then we can see if it's something that we can pull from a list, because we have many of those lists. I think I just said that. We have many of those lists. So it's a matter of finding the person, finding the money, redepositing it, and then reissuing it.
All right, and Nancy said, yes, she did send that information along already. So Tina from Senator Allmatt's office, when someone comes off of medical leave and is unemployed, what other steps do they need to take? I told them to upload the doctor release to their portal and then to start filing biweekly claims. They had a claim open, but it was denied originally due to not being able and available. And job searches. Anything else? How long should it take for UC to review? Thank you.
That wouldn't take long. I mean, as long as they were otherwise eligible, I'm just going to assume they were based on separation and all that. So if it's just an able and available issue, as soon as that release, releases them to be able and available, when the examiner gets that documentation, they can then, restart the person's claim. They'll have to, maybe an interviewer might call them, they'll have to certify any weeks that have passed. I'm just assuming, we're not touching it the moment we get it. If a week or two has gone by or whatever, they'll have to certify those weeks for filing verbally. I don't think there's a way. In our old system, you could get the weeks all ready for filing and the person could go do it, but it doesn't really work the same in our new system. We have to do it verbally most of the time. And then once we've certified those weeks and those have paid, they should be, they'll reopen their claim and they should be able to keep filing from that point forward. So that part isn't, it's not like a determination is needed, anything like that. Like it's pretty easy to get the claim restarted.
All right, we'll give it a moment here, see if anybody has any additional questions. Please put your questions in the chat. We would love to be able to provide valuable information because it might not just be you who has this inkling or question that needs answered. It may help somebody else that's just listening in or views the recording later on. Your questions also help break up awkward silences during these recordings.
There was one thing I could talk about. I'm trying to find the information. Just find it.
All right, while you're looking now, Shana from Rep Griner's office, what are the current wait times for calling the service center?
Oh, well, let me look real quick. We just got the latest one. All right. So as of 9:30 this morning, the oldest waiting time for a new claim, like an initial claim, is 22 minutes. If you're just calling about an existing claim, it's currently 12 minutes, and this is all as of 9:30 this morning. Let's see, there's nobody in the queue for an initial Spanish claim. For an existing Spanish claim, it's 4 minutes. So the wait times are pretty low. And also, so we also do we actually have staff. So we get automated things like that from our software, our phone software, to tell us what the average wait time is right now and stuff like that. But then we also have an actual human replicate what our claimants are going through, and they call the service center number 5 times an hour and see how many times they get a busy signal. So in the last hour, they got 1 busy signal out of the 5 calls. So pretty much that means people can get through this morning with the occasional, it is a Tuesday morning, which is busy. Mondays are busy, Tuesday mornings are fairly busy. So 1 out of 5 busies in the last hour, but that's not unmanageable. That's actually pretty good for a Tuesday. So, and wait times, like I said, the longest is the initial claim gets, because initial claims take a long time to file. That's 22 minutes. Regular calls, 12 minutes. And that's historically, every time I look at it, I don't look at it often, but, as the years go by, every so often, it's always very consistently 10% of our calls are for initial claims, and the other 90% are for existing, like, continued claims, people with questions, people to check status, stuff like that. So the majority of callers, when I'm giving you this initial claim queue versus continued claim queue, it's really the continued claim queue, meaning people who already have claims. That is the majority of these calls, and that's a 12-minute wait right now.
From Senator Muth's office, if an employer reaches out and they're having trouble with unemployment, should we contact you or submit an inquiry?
Our employer, the pathways for an employer to call us are always wide open. Oftentimes we find employers are calling our regular claims number, and that's why they have trouble, but they're not supposed to call the same place the claimants call. We have totally different contact information for employers. So I'm putting the information in our contact us page, and it has, if you scroll down, there is a whole section for employer contacts. And it provides multiple ways to get in touch for employers. And depends on, it also breaks out like what their issue is. Like, is it more of a tax question? Is it more of a benefits question? You know, depending on what their issue is, what it is they'd like to talk about, you know, this gives all the different contact ways. So yeah, if they're saying they're getting busy signals or something, that means they're calling the wrong numbers, because we never, ever have a wait on the employer side. And on the tax side, they also have chat for employers. I know it's not very highly used, but it's available, and employers can chat with tax if they would like. So all that information is there. That contact us page is for claimants and employers. It's got all of our contact information. So that's a handy page to have bookmarked. You know, just scroll down to the employer contacts and they can easily get a hold of us anytime.
All right, at this point, if you've asked a question already and you have another one that is just burning to be answered, please put it in now. We'll open it up to second round. Or if you have not put one in yet and you're just a little shy, that's okay. There are no stupid questions. From Senator Stefano's office, are UC Service Center staff still working from home?
They have a rotation, so they'll work from home for 3 weeks and then they're in the office for 1 week. And then they keep rotating on that basis. And they're all staggered, so they're not all there at the same time, the same week. They're all divided into 4 teams. And then so it's like a rolling telework schedule.
All right, we'll give it another minute or two and see if anybody has any last minute questions, but a lot of good information was put out today. Thank you very much, Susan. And
Sure, and I'll share the little bit that I was looking for which 4 counties it is, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Geez, I was looking forever. I did want to let you know that disasters were declared in 4 small Pennsylvania counties for recent flooding, and so there is a DUA event for those of you who are familiar with DUA. It's disaster unemployment assistance. It only gets declared if the president declares it for certain counties. And then, of course, there's a lot of different FEMA rules on how things work. It has to be declared for individual assistance. So that was done for these 4 counties: Lycoming, Potter, Tioga, and Union. And anyway, so we are issuing information soon in a press release for, anyone who may have been unable to work because of those disasters. So be watching for that press release. Now, our claim system is not yet ready to take those claims. It shouldn't be much longer. I mean, we have the DUA program built into our claim system. We just have to activate it, but there's certain things. It's not just a matter of flipping the switch. Like, we have to add funding codes. We have to add the right dates. There's things that happen in the background to activate that, which aren't just a matter of adding them. Like, we have to do the research and get that information from other parties. So once we have all that collected and we activate it, those are small population counties, so we don't expect a lot of claims. But I don't know how many of you were here and remember when we had the DUA event in 2021. It was after all the federal programs had ended. Like the week later, we had a DUA event of flooding in Philadelphia. And it actually ended up that we didn't have that many people eligible, like a handful of people that were eligible for DUA, but we had 20,000 plus applications for DUA, so many of them fraudulent. So we're nervous and kind of expecting once we announce this, we will probably have tons and tons and tons of fraudulent claims. We'll see. Now we have ID.me in different places and stuff. It might actually prevent that. I'm hoping so, because you can't even get to a dashboard or build a dashboard or a claim unless you can pass the ID verification online. So I'm hoping that helps, and that we're not in the same situation we were before. But remember, if we do get a lot of workload out of this, even if we don't have a lot of people eligible, it's still going to take a lot of our staff's time to weed through these. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that is coming. And it's the declaration of the disaster is already on the federal website. We're just waiting to issue. We actually had to send our press release to the federal government for them to review and approve. Once they approve it, then we get to issue it. So yeah, there you go. Some DUA news, which nobody was probably expecting here. And you never know with all this crazy rain and stuff. Keep looking for DUA, but let's hope that there's no more terrible floods like that. But if there's a process we go through, and then it's usually activated pretty quickly.
Susan, we have a lot of newer folks that have started attending these town halls, and there's been a lot of changeover in some of the legislative offices. What type of stuff is DUA, and what is DUA exactly for their benefit?
It's disaster unemployment, so it's for individuals who can't otherwise qualify for unemployment. So if someone is, affected by it and they see our announcement and they come to apply for unemployment for this DUA, what we're actually going to do is set up a regular claim for them, not a DUA claim. And if they qualify for a regular claim, like they have enough wages and all of that stuff to qualify for a regular claim, they're going to get a regular claim. Someone only gets DUA if they can't qualify for regular unemployment, and that's usually self-employed individuals. It's a program specifically to help them, just like if you've heard the rumors about PUA, the pandemic unemployment assistance, that was also to help self-employed individuals, because self-employed individuals can't qualify for regular unemployment. So that was set up for the pandemic to help them. DUA is something that is always around, but it only gets activated when we have that federal disaster declared, like I was mentioning earlier. So if anyone, applies for DUA, it's really going to be a regular claim unless, they can't qualify. So usually that's either someone who is self-employed because, they can't qualify for regular unemployment, or if for individuals who might not have enough wages to qualify. Let's say they recently went back to work. Let's say, we have a lot of, for example, stay-at-home moms for several years. They'll get back into the workforce, and then a disaster will hit, and then they'll be, unemployed temporarily, and they don't have enough of a work history in recent years to qualify. They would also be eligible for DUA in this case. So DUA has a minimum that gets paid. It does change every so often. The federal government sends us notices about that. I'm not sure what the rate is now. For PUA, it was $195 a week. It's probably gone up since then, but I'm not totally sure. I'll have to look that up and see what the current minimum is. So that, because people's unemployment, the weekly amount that they get paid normally on a regular unemployment claim, that's all set up based on how much they made in their work history in the last 18 months or so. So if you don't have enough work history, obviously you're not going to have a rate. That's why DUA has a minimum that it sets, because someone can't have a rate if they don't have enough of a history. So they say, okay, anyone who doesn't have enough of a history, it's a minimum of this amount. Business owners many times can establish a higher rate if they provide us all their tax information and stuff that shows us their earnings. They won't be at the minimum; they can be at the higher amount. And that kind of goes along with our regular claims chart. It'll determine how much they get paid each week. But as long as someone doesn't qualify for regular unemployment, but they do qualify for DUA, there's a minimum amount that they will not get less than that. And that ensures that they get some sort of an income coming in until the disaster is over. So if they, well, I mean, the disaster itself is over. That was just flooding for a couple days. But I mean, like when their place of employment rebuilds and reopens, then they're not eligible for DUA anymore. I mean, obviously, once they can go back to work, then their eligibility ends. So the DUA events themselves last usually a little bit longer than the 26 weeks that we normally have. DUA events usually last a few weeks longer than that. But again, that's contingent upon the person still not being able to go to work. If they go to work earlier than that because the employer reopens, then their eligibility ends there. That was a lot, I know. There'll be more information coming out. Yeah.
And just as a reiteration, that is not something that's available yet, but it will be coming shortly. Okay, with that, there were some questions about with folks having connectivity issues, but I haven't seen a lot on that at this point. So unfortunately, Tina, it does look like you were one of the few people that's been having connectivity issues this morning. Not seeing any other new questions popping up, and since it's almost 10 a.m., very productive meeting today. Thank you very much for being here, Susan. Appreciate your time. Thank you for everybody else who asked questions. And we will put the recording out shortly. In 2 weeks, we will have another UC Town Hall that may or may not be the one with the workforce development folks. We have to see if we can get our schedules aligned. Otherwise, we will have Susan's beautiful beaming face here to answer more UC questions for everyone. Thanks again, everyone, and have a nice day.
See you, everyone.